Okay, live, and welcome everybody to Mad Red United. Welcome to my first Q&A, and I don't think I could have picked a better time for doing one of these because I think we've had the break with internationals now this weekend. We've been all chilled. I am not as stressed this weekend because I've not had anything to worry about football-wise, but yeah, internationals just make us, I think, realise how much we actually miss football and how much we need football, albeit how crap it is. But we do miss it and we do need football, and that's what this weekend has proven to me. I think I've seen enough cricket now and I need the football back. So before we get back, I just want to say hello to everyone who's popping up in the comments section right now saying hello. Hello, I don't think I'm going to be able to get through everyone today. And like I said, last week I went on and said I was going to give the show to you guys, let you ask me all the questions, but then I went on to a complete rant about Southampton. I lost my way completely. Well, like I said, there's been no football this weekend to go on about, to worry about, to stress about, or rant about, so this one is going to be all Q&A, and everyone in the comments, I will get through as many as I can before I actually turn off tonight. Firstly, I did post this out on social media earlier on that I was doing the Q&A and everything. Hello again, everyone coming in who's just coming in. I'm mid-talk, so I'll just try and carry on and get through as many as possible. Christina, Viking, Phil, everyone coming in, thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, I posted this out on social media earlier on that I was doing the Q&A. Any issues, questions, anything that anyone wanted to get off their chest, really break it down and actually think about what is going on at the moment, what can possibly change, what can we do to change this. And I got a few comments in the social media. If you aren't actually following me on social media, they're right there in the screen now on there. My new social media link for Instagram is there as well. Catch me on there where you see some snippets of things going on before you actually get onto YouTube and stuff like that. And obviously everyone knows my Twitter where the action really happens. So let's get into some of these. I'm just going to quickly do a few from socials that people have posted to me, and obviously then get into live comments as well. So I'll try and scroll back up through as many as I can, but just bear with us and just throw your thoughts on these ones that I read out now from social media, and then we'll take it from there with the live comments as well. So MH on Twitter, this is what you'll understand what I mean by this one now. He says, do you think Ollie is at risk of losing his job this season at all, or is this a free hit regardless of our results and league position? Do we stick by Ollie and trust the process? Is Ollie the right man with the right credentials to spearhead this transaction? Thank you. Yeah, cheers MH, whichever way you want me to call it. Now, we all know that question's been raised and talked about loads of times on my channel, but the key one in there that popped out, which made that question stick out to me, was the free ride. The free ride is Ollie getting this season, because that is a massive point and a really good point to bring up, actually, because some people are seeing it as that now, and that simply comes across from the way Ollie is speaking, which I've spoke about before a lot, and how he's not coming across well, because in this situation, like Ollie says, we are Man United, we should be this, we should be that. How the hell can you be as buoyant and as comfortable in these interviews, these post-match, these pre-match press conferences, when United are looking at mid-table after 4 games of playing relatively average teams, let's be honest, and laughing it off, joking it off regarding where exactly we are and how we're actually going about these games and the performances in general. He's calling out, saying Rashford this, we're creating that. We're all seeing these things, and Ollie's saying these things. Sorry, I'll say that again, I got that mixed up there. Ollie's saying these things, but we're not seeing these things on the pitch. And I know we're not stupid, you cannot kid the fans. I've said that God knows how many times, but obviously people are starting to think now, and it's like MH said there, is Ollie got a free ride this season? Does it even matter? Because I'm sure he's looking at it like I am, and a lot of other fans are, the fact that Ollie doesn't seem to be stressed about this. He doesn't seem to be coming across. Whether it's all for the press conferences, I don't know. He's doing a great job of hiding things if it is, but it is a concern. It's like we seem to be saving money, and my major concern in that is the fact that, are we saving money because we simply know we're going to be losing money this season and have given up on getting top 4? And in that case, the Lukaku money's been saved. All the money we're saving from the players on wages so far, the Sanchez, Lukaku, everyone piling up, the 8 players that have left, and all this money saving and not a lot of money spent, are we just simply, and the owners, telling Ollie, look, this is a free ride this season. We're looking to try and probably see where we're at after this season, and we're going to save the money this season. Well, in case in point, rebuild, and that horrible word, rebuild, what are we going to be building next season if we don't make top 4? If we don't even get European football? Pogba and De Gea are going. We know that. Why would they stick around if we don't make top 4 now? Then you've got to replace 2 world-class players. Who is going to come to United? What have United got to offer? Someone? What have we got to offer? Just tell me, people, because that's where this message and what MH is getting to. That's where I'm getting to with that. Free ride? Really, honestly, I can't personally see it, because United need to get somewhere, and we need to be playing for something next season, because the rebuild's going to be non-existent. Clearly, it's going to be absolutely non-existent if we don't actually get anywhere and we don't have anything to play for next season, and that is, it doesn't get much clearer than that, does it? Let's be honest, because if we don't, who is going to come to United? What do United have to offer apart from history and maybe a bumper wage package? It doesn't look like we're even doing that anymore, going off where we've acted this summer and the amount of money that we've tried to save in wages, sending Sanchez off and paying half of his wages. It just looks like we're penny pinching and we're trying to save money for what about to happen this season. That is a horrible thought, and I hope that isn't the way it's going and the way the club are thinking. But would you put it past us? I don't think so. Quickly, I'm just going to go on to a couple of others. Jay Singh says, the fans really need to... He's sent me an essay of a message, but I'm just going to break it down. And it comes up again, the same thing. Should we really be venting our anger at the management and the players when it's really the owners? Yeah, we all know that the owners are the big issue here, but the main gripe, I think, with a lot of people, especially with Ollie, is that he is playing the tune that the Glazers want him to play. He's saying now that, well, I said it before, I tweeted it out before, I think, to someone, or replied to a tweet before, and it said, Ollie came out and said there was money available for United to spend for the right player. Bruno Fernandes was the right player. The scouts somehow came up with this story. We all seen the way he started the season off, and we've all seen how our midfield is coping this season. And for me, Fernandes looked like he would have fitted in. I don't know, he could have turned up like Fred. Fred looked great at Shakhtar, then he's failed so far as a United player so far. And yeah, but what we're supposed to do? Not buy a player because we don't think he's going to be able to make it at United, or do we go off his credentials and how he's played, like you should do, and proper scouting should be done? And for me, it's not so much the issue with the owners right now. We can't do anything about the owners. I've said it constantly. We will not do anything as fans that will affect the owners. We cannot do anything as fans, because people have said to me, I'm the problem. I'm the problem because I renew my season ticket and I buy merchandise and this and that. Well, I don't buy a lot of merchandise. I don't buy food inside Old Trafford. I buy it outside. And I will always renew my season ticket because I will never stop supporting Manchester United. And for people to say that we are the problem, the fans are the problem, that the club is in this mess, are you taking the piss? Seriously. Do not test my mettle with that. Anyone who comes up with that is just going to get out and outright blocked from the channel and not even brought up. How can you blame fans for wanting to go to the football and support their club? These are fans that have been going for years. I've had a season ticket for years. And for me to give up my season ticket now, just for it to be taken by a corporate, there would be what the Glazers want. They could charge more money to the next man who's coming in. They've already got a corporate section in the middle of the Stretford end, so what's stopping them making it more corporate and making it more damaging to the atmosphere at Old Trafford, as long as the money's coming in? There's nothing that we can do as fans that's going to change the owners. They're doing it to themselves, and eventually, the way the football's going, the money will run out. No one will want to actually sponsor Manchester United. The big deals will go down. They'll just use United's form, United's position in the league, the draw, what they've got, how appealing they are in terms of entertainment. The players that we can attract to the club will all start to diminish, and eventually the deals won't be there. Deals might be there, but they won't be worth as much money. Obviously, we're going to see that. This year we don't make top 4 because that Adidas money comes right back down if we're not in the Champions League. So there's not much that... I understand where Jay's coming from. They are the major problem. But right now, the issue with a lot of fans is all we've got is what we're watching on the pitch. And at the moment, what we're watching on the pitch is absolute crap. And there's no way you can deny that. There is a super chat in there. I know I will come to it in a minute. I just want to run off these people who got to me through social media quickly. Let me just bring up one that was on my Instagram before. Rockoz, Adam, there is talk of Eriksen in January. Is this a long-term rebuild? Do you think that's wise move, or is it another stopgap signing, albeit quite a good one? Yeah, Eriksen would be a good one, but I do understand the stopgap. I call it the Mourinho, because Mourinho was quick fix. He wanted to keep his record for me. That's what Mourinho wanted. He wanted quick fix, get a title, get some trophies, then move on. We knew he was going to move on anyway. He doesn't stay longer than 3 years. And we thought at the time when he first came, maybe it could be different because United was his dream job. He always said he wanted the United job. But at the end of the day, anything quick fix I'm not looking for now. I want to see a plan. And that would just be giving up on the plan straight away if you're bringing Eriksen in. Yeah, I can understand if he did come in for the cheap money days, it's a no-brainer. And that one is bordering on exception to the rule in terms of what we should be doing right now. Because Eriksen would help us dramatically in our creativity department. That number 10 role would be sorted with Eriksen in the team. We all know it. And someone to take the pressure off Pogba in terms of having to run the whole show and create everything that we actually make. So, yeah, I can understand where that's going from, where he's coming from with that one. But, again, not ideal at all. I don't want quick fixes. I want the plan to be carried out. I want everything to be set in stone as a plan going forward. I don't want quick fixes just because we have knee-jerk reactions to it not actually working. So, yeah, for me, no. I'm all for the long-term outlook. Quick fixes, as good as Eriksen is. Yeah, if it's going to save us this season and our plans going forward in terms of recruiting for next season don't get hampered by it, then yeah, I'm happy going forward with that. Just for that once that one player that might actually get us and actually help us in the long-term plan. I can see that side of it also. Right, let me get up the some of the other comments now. I'm going to hit the live comments and catch up with you guys in there now and just go through it. I know there was a super chat in there. And there it is. Go peace, prosperity. How are you doing, mate? Always on the super chats. Thanks for dropping in again and dropping another one. Is there any points total, say, over the next 5 games that would make you say Ollie out? Oh, that is a good question. Get your comments in on that one as well, people. That is a very good question. So, the next games we've got coming up, obviously, we've got Leicester, we've got West Ham, we've got Arsenal. I can't for the life of me remember who that 4th one is before we break for internationals. Is it Newcastle? I think it's Newcastle as well. Games we could win, games we could easily lose. It could go either way. It's a tough one to call. In terms of points, 12 up for grabs out of them 4 games. If we only take 6, then that's a disaster of a start to the season. That makes it 11 points in 8 games. And, oh God, that's mid-table, bottom half of the table sort of point tally. I'm going to be guessing around that mark. And let's forget, I've called out this game against Leicester already as a make or break. So there's the answer to that one pretty much. Thanks for the super chat again, mate. And it says it all in mine. I said this is a win or bust for Ollie because we lose against Leicester. We're 6 points behind Leicester. Forget about the Arsenals, City, Liverpool, Spurs. That's Leicester. And for us to be in that state after 5 games says it all for me. That pretty much condemns us and tells us exactly where we're at this season, because that would be an horrific start. That would be worse than last season under Mourinho. And we all know how many people wanted Mourinho's head and he was the problem. And we had more of a squad last season when we was that bad. You could see maybe we had enough squad players to actually change things around and get a different outcome. But this time we're looking that threadbare that obviously now, if Ollie doesn't start turning it around now, then the worry is going to go through the roof. And that is where I'm at with that. In terms of a minimum points tally for the next 4 or 5 games, I think it comes down to Leicester straight away. Because if we lose to Leicester at home, oh my God, that is going to be walking out of that ground, and it's the aggro outside the ground already is at an all-time high. People are arguing amongst themselves. United fans are arguing with each other. It's going to scuffles outside Old Trafford. If you haven't been there, if you're walking out where we do fan cams and that, and people don't like fan cammers, they try and blame us for everything that's going wrong. They need someone to blame, and it's always us. So we see the most of it. I get dogs abuse off people for doing what I do, and all I'm doing is just talking, being real, talking to United fans, involving as many people as possible. And we go outside Old Trafford, and the last thing I wanted was United fans to be at each other's throats. I'm all for a good debate. I don't agree with everyone. It's what we're here for. We're here to debate and talk about football. But I know just through judging that how bad the atmosphere is at Old Trafford. It's toxic inside the ground. It's even worse outside the ground. When it comes to that area where we all are, and you can see it, the tension that is there. They want someone to blame, and like I said, we can't do anything to change anything. We're stuck because we want to be right there behind our boys. We want to be there behind the club that we've supported all our lives. And we know there's nothing we can do but sit in the crowd and cheer. And when nothing is coming back from the players, it seems, and there's no cohesion or actual decent football to watch because there hasn't been, then it starts to get nasty, and that's the way it's going, because it's only being seen as one way at the moment, and that's downhill. It's downhill all the way for a lot of United fans now, and it's creeping over more and more. I'd say 50% at least now are in that sort of boat where it's doom and gloom and they cannot see a way out of it. A lot asking for Ollie's head. I have people constantly messaging me on my videos, literally nothing else but Ollie out, Ollie out. I've been Ollie out since the Everton game. Someone messaged me the other day. He lost it when last season when we had that horrific result out at Goodison Park, and it's hard for fans to see past it. It really is. So yeah, it all sort of spirals into different areas of the club and different issues. The only thing that we've got to watch and look forward to at the moment is the fact that, well, it's not the fact, it's watching the football. There's nothing else, there's no other facts about it, because the main fact is, stop saying fact, Adam, for God's sake. The main one is the fact that we're 8th in the league and we've got a tough run of games coming up. If we don't get through these games, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. As fans, as a club, where do we go from there? This is so important, this next month of football, because if it goes the wrong way, there is going to be a lot of, I don't want it to be, but there's going to be a lot of Ollie out fans coming out. I do know it. I already know it now. So if this goes wrong this next month, then it's going to be there again. 100% it's going to be there. It's only going to get nastier. I know it. I know the way it is right now. That's how it's going to be. Okay, that's that bit done. Let's get into some of your live comments here, because you have been commenting on some of the ones that I've already brought up. Let's see. Viking Red, how you doing, mate? I'll be honest, we could have got Klopp and didn't. That's the point. I mean, a lot of people have brought that up. Why didn't we get Guardiola? Why didn't we get Klopp? We're always slow off the mark. We're getting managers through the door, United. And which way we go about it, innit? A lot of people have said we tried the elaborate, the serial winning managers, the established managers, and it's not worked, that being Van Gaal and Mourinho. To be honest, I think Guardiola was probably touted for the job. I actually think Guardiola's that smart, he didn't take the United job because he knew he wouldn't get the control that he's got at City managing Manchester United. That, I think, I could nail down as a fact. I do think United would have talked to Guardiola. I knew back in the day when we were due to play him in the final, 2011, that he was at Old Trafford and he was blown away by the atmosphere. I remember the game, I think it was Schalke in the second leg. He was blown away by it. He said he wouldn't mind this at all. this is his sort of place. And I know Fergie would have known then that his time was coming up, and he probably would have mentioned it. I'm sure he would have. I do actually think that Guardiola's looked at it. They probably have contacted him, and he's probably just out said no, because he's seen the setup. Would you? If you was told the way United is going to be run over these next few years, that you wouldn't say no to that, knowing that City's offering you what they offered you. And Liverpool, they signed Klopp through the surprise sacking of Rodgers at the time. It just so happened he was out of football and was perfect, ready for Liverpool. And it does look like a match made in heaven, to be honest. He's a lunatic on the sidelines, the way he is. Not saying his football's bad or anything, but the guy is crazy, let's be honest. And Liverpool fans, we know what they're like. They live for their football as much as we do. And it's just a match made in heaven, isn't it, for them? He might have been great at United. He probably would have been great at United. Ifs and buts does not matter now. He's with City. He's with Liverpool, and c'est la vie. Move on. We're stuck with what we've got. Right. Let's have a look at some others here. Let's see. Blues Rock. I thought everybody was saying it would take 3 transfer windows before the season kicked off. No patience, give Ollie a chance. I understand that. 3 transfer windows, like I said at the start. Where does next transfers window kick in terms of the calibre of player that we want to attract to United to make us better, with Pogba and De Gea leaving? Where does finishing mid-table in current form leave us in a transfer window in the summer? That's the major point. Who is going to want to come to a mid-table Manchester United? We could be looking at the new AC Milan sort of scenario right here. For me, more needed to be done in the summer just to keep us afloat and maybe keep us within top 6, top 4 hopefully. That should have been an essential, and then look to get rid of some players. Hence the 3-year plan that Blues Rock is talking about. I understand that, but because they've ballsed up the first window, I think a lot of people, with Ollie saying he's happy with his squad, have lost faith in him straight out because of that. As harsh as that sounds, and I know it does, a lot of fans have just gone, what? People are talking to me in my comments saying he's a politician, he's kidding United fans. It's literally a case of, in their eyes, they can't see past what Ollie's saying in the press conferences. It winds me up, I'm not going to deny it. And I do think Ollie has been left short. I think he's been led up the garden path by the Glazers, I'll be honest. I think he's been let down. I just wish that he'd actually put his foot down a little bit more in terms of, well, if you want me to get rid of all these players, 8 pretty much first team players, barring Damian, probably, and Valencia from last season. The rest you could say all played decent amount of games. Then why are you only bringing 3 players in for me? If you're not going to play a lot of the youth and bring a lot of the youth team through, because he's not brought a lot of the youth through. And that is where a lot of people are with Ollie now. It seems like the promises from last season, his comments, people live off press conferences and words. They do. Fans take it to heart. And the fact that we've had such a drab period since Ferguson left, and we had a little bit of hope with Ollie, and we fought and we got our hopes up so high, and now it's coming back down to earth with a big bang, and we're looking at Ollie as the leader and saying, Ollie, what is it? You're laughing in press conferences. We're looking at it as everything that you're saying at the moment seems to be pulling the wool over our eyes for the sake of the Glazers and Ed Woodward trying to save their skin, because as long as Ed Woodward shows United in the black at the MGMs, then the Glazers are not going to move Woodward. He's making money. And he'd probably show profit again this season at the MGM when he calculates the transfers and the money saved in wages from the sale of Lukaku and not spending that money. And then according to them, they don't care about cup finals. They don't care about trophies or anything like that. All that is to them is just a PA moment. It's just an actual public appearance to actually advertise themselves or something like that. Such a big event like a cup final, and they might turn up and show the face amongst all the security that'll probably be with them. But no, that's the problem with the 3-year transfer window. and that's in depth about it, because that is a fact that who is going to want to come to United if we don't finish in that top four? The top four, for me, was dependent on how this transfer window went. The one that Ollie said was important and a lot was going to happen, and it hasn't. That is where a lot of United fans have just gone, well, what are we supposed to do now? Because the football's crap as well. So 2 and 2 together comes out with a lot of fans turning on Ollie. A lot haven't yet, and we need to be right behind him. I do agree. He just doesn't. He's not helping himself. That's all. And whether or not he will realise this and then start coming out, there's been rumours that he's not happy with a few players as well. A lot not showing what they're showing in training and taking the training forward onto the pitch. But he knew this last season. That's the problem. They let him down badly last season. The running, when he was saying it, so a leopard never changes its spots. These players under pressure buckled. Ollie knew this, and nothing got done in the summer. He was let down. Whether or not he said enough, we don't know. We're guessing, but that's the state that we're in now, and that's why a lot of fans, I think, will actually start turning on Ollie, because they live off what he says and cannot see a better outcome. Let's see, Paul Clayton, how you doing, mate? I think Paul's just backed up what I'm saying there, I think. Hi Adam, Ollie hasn't been backed in the transfer window, just gone. Time will tell. Yeah, I think this season will tell, mate. It really will. He got let down in the window. We don't know if he was trying harder to get the players in, and he has covered himself in the press conferences by not saying too much. I can understand all of that. Worried about his job, his dream job and all that. That's a conversation we've had plenty of times before. But let's have a few more. Anthony Wilson. I like Ollie and want him to succeed, but until he grows a set of balls, he's sure to fail. Yeah, it sort of coincides with what I was just saying then. It does all come down to the fact that has he got the kahunas, has he got the Troy Deeney kahunas to actually stand up for himself and actually say to the Glazers, look, before this season finishes, we've got one transfer window. We've got a January transfer window, and there are players there that if you're willing to pump up the money for, will save the Adidas deal, might get us back into the Champions League. There are definitely players there that can be got, and that being like Mohammed has just said there in the comments, and Maddison and Bruno Fernandes. We can get these players if we want them. We can. Leicester are playing great football, I understand that. And why would Maddison leave Leicester for Manchester United? A lot of people will say that. But you throw some money at that and you give Maddison the chance to come and play at Manchester United on this stage, then you know it's a possibility. It really is. And Fernandes exactly the same, because we are drastically lacking in that area, and Ole needs to grow a pair and say to the Glazers, look, if you don't back me this transfer window, then we could be in trouble. Them words need to come out of Ollie's mouth. They do. Okay. Go Peace Prosperity again, another super chat. Cheers very much, mate. Could you talk about the body language of Solskjaer and staff on touchline? Had you have seen it live? Seems they are as docile. Yeah, I understand where you're going with that, mate. Yeah, the games at the moment, the ones that I'm at, depressing, I'll be honest. I love match days, nothing's ever going to change that. Literally live for match days, away days, the whole journey, the build up, everything. It's fantastic. You get there, the crowd are buzzing, we're singing, we're loud walking in. You've seen my videos with it in the stands under before the game, in the gantry bit where everyone congregates, drinking, singing, the atmosphere is banging, and then that completely goes right at the end of the game. It literally does. It dies off as it goes, just like the team do. The United fans of old, I'm not saying that United fans are to blame at all, you know where I stand with that, but I think they've got to a stage now where they're like, they want something back. We want something back from the players. They're just not performing to the right level, to a consistent level, which is where United need to be playing. It's as simple as that. And body language from Mike Phelan and Ole being there, I think Mike Phelan spends more time on the touchline than Ole, which I think is wrong. who is the main coach. They take turns. They all come out after each other. You see Carrick there, you see Phelan there, you see Ollie there for occasion, and it's not good, to be honest. It doesn't look like there is one particular person in charge, whereas if you go to a Spurs, City, Liverpool, you watch some of their games, you know who is in charge. That's the problem at United at the moment. I don't know who is having the final say. Because one person's coming out saying something, the next is, and yeah, that could be messages passed on. Ollie's saying, go and say this and that, I understand that, but surely Ollie knows exactly what these players should be doing. And it's the fact a lot of fans have lost a little bit of faith in he's not been able to make changes when needed, in terms of changing a game or when a game's going away from United. A lot of fans have given up on him in that sense because we're not seeing Ollie make the key changes or change anything or look to be changing anything. He's just bringing a Lingard on when we need a goal. Lingard who hasn't done anything for 14 games straight, nothing. Instead of bringing a Greenwood on who could change it and look like he could have changed it against Southampton. It's the fact that Mata played instead of Gomez on Southampton's game. It's things like that, and that's where the fans are. And it is getting a bit more sour in the crowd. It really is, and it's a shame. But a lot of fans have just got fed up with it now because they're not seeing enough, and we're paying through the teeth. I'm not going to use the expense money as an excuse for us to be able to moan about things. We follow our club no matter what, and everyone does. You all do it. You all stay up from around the world to watch the football on TV. You all pay subscriptions to BT, Sky, whoever it may be from around the world to watch United. I travel up and down. I spend thousands a year, thousands a season watching United. And at the end of the day, you actually, first off, want something to actually watch. You want some entertainment, and that's not even there at the moment. That's why I think the likes of Klopp, Pochettino have actually got away with not winning things for so long. Obviously, Klopp is now, but it was still entertaining to watch. And you could see something in there. Right now, United, especially since Fergie's left, no matter which manager it was, he might have had the odd spell here and there with certain managers where he thought we might be turning the corner, like Ollie last season. At the end of the day, it has come back to the same old crap. Every single manager, it's gone the same way. And sometimes you have to look at the playing staff as well. And yeah, as sad as it is, a lot of the United fans are actually just giving up supporting some of the players. You can see it and hear it in the crowd. And the abuse that a lot of them are getting now has gone up as well. I can guarantee you that. That is a fact, that a lot of United fans are at a stage now where like, can't be arsed, I'm just going to hurl abuse at this guy. And it's not the right way, it really isn't. But they're earning their money to come and watch United, the release of football at the weekend, travelling the country. And when they get back that, then there's an inevitable outcome when it carries on for so long. And that is the outcome that we're getting now. Christina made a point there. Players flopping. This goes back to the last 6 years. They're in an awful culture. That's why we need to give Ollie the time to change it. He is trying to change it, I think, Christina, by basically getting rid of everyone. Anyone who looked like a bad egg, you could say, or a player who could be disruptive, seems to have gone this summer. Yeah, we all know that players should have come in to replace him, but you can see what he's doing with that. I've always praised Ollie for the way he has and the players he's got rid of. That basically is the best thing that he's done so far at United. Apart from the G-up and the run we had last season, I do think that was a lot down to the fact that Mourinho had gone. The players were just buzzing. They had a free rein. There was no pressure under Ollie because they knew he wasn't the manager. They just go out, put themselves in the window for the next manager, and then Ollie got the job, and it seemed to just cascade from there, basically. As soon as they knew who the manager was and they had a settled manager in, it went to pot. And that doesn't go well for the players, don't bode well for the players or the players' mindsets or anything like that. If they can turn up and play the way they did when they knew that we had an interim manager, and as soon as he gets the job, down tools and just give up, which is pretty much what it was like towards the end of last season, then that is horrendous. And I'm actually glad that Ollie has got rid of a lot of the players that he has done. A lot of them deserve to go, to be honest, for the way they acted in the summer and just in talking out of tune, and as well as topping that on with the way that they performed on the pitch, definitely. And that is the right way around it for Ollie. But surely you should have known that if he's going to get rid of 8 first team players, someone else, some more had to come in. And that's where it sort of goes the other way with Ollie. We talked about that before, I know. Let's see, what else have we got? The messages are going through that quick, sorry. Can never stop supporting United, Richard Keane. Yeah, I've seen... Definitely not, mate. Definitely not. Anthony Wisdom, Ollie can buy himself a lot of time with the fan base if he were to play more young players. Yeah, I know, mate. I totally agree with that. I've said that he would. If he started dropping the likes of Lingard and Rashford and playing a Gomez and a Greenwood, then United fans would look at that and go, well, yeah, them two players have been poor, and he's given the chance to two younger players to give them a go. That's 100%. I would get right behind that, and every single United fan would get behind that. Definitely. Paul Robinson, great show, Adam. Cheers, mate. I know you put a message up there before, Paul, as well. I'm going to bring that one up. Yes, that is a topic that I wanted to talk about. That's the De Gea one, I'm guessing. If Dave leaves, likely to spend 80 million to replace him or give Henderson a chance, would we rejoice or say, cheap Ed? We are being mugged off with this rebuild. Where's the build? Only dismantled. Yeah, understand everything that you said there, Paul, mate. Because that's another topic that's come up at the moment. David De Gea. Now, apparently, Juventus are in talks with him. Why wouldn't they be? Juventus are the kings of getting the free transfers, aren't they? They've had so many players on free deals, and they're looking at this now, and they're promising De Gea exactly what money he wanted from United in his new contract. You can guarantee it. No buy-on fee. This is easy for Juventus, isn't it? They're just going to say, Dave, there you go. 350, 400 grand a week. We're saving another transfer fee. We can easily cover that wage through the money that we create and the money that we generate through our season. No problem. United have let this happen. United are to blame for this. Many fans are at a stage now with it where they're turning on De Gea, which I can't understand. Yeah, De Gea has been playing poorly to his standards, which are world class. He's not in the Spanish team now. Kepa's actually ahead of him in the Spanish setup now as well, so he's lost his place there, which says it all. If you are the best keeper in the world, which we all said he was at the time, at his peak, and he was struggling to get in the Spanish team then are people on board with him getting this new deal? And, excuse me, 350 grand plus a week, the highest paid player at the club, barring Sanchez. Now he's not there. A lot of people are not happy with it. But then again, like Paul says, would we feel like we're being mugged off if Dave goes on a free and then Henderson is promoted? We're all for promoting our youth and giving him a chance. We've just said that. But in a player there that we knew that United could have at least got money for and could have maybe given a deal to and just put this to bed, we're now looking at David De Gea, one of our captains, looking like he's going to be gone on a free in the summer with nothing coming in. And a replacement, what? Who are we going to get to replace him? Like I said, it's either a Henderson, a Pereira. We've got Romero there, who hasn't really done anything wrong. But again, you can see where Paul's coming from. It's literally a case of the Glazers pulling another one over us. And the fact that they've not managed to get any money at all for David De Gea or get him signed up is just a joke, because we're going to end up losing what? Yeah, we lost a little bit of a wage bill in Herrera and De Gea, but Herrera and De Gea, you would say, over the last 5 years, haven't been our worst players. De Gea's been our best. Herrera, definitely not one of our worst players. And for the so-called world-class businessman that Ed Woodward is, clearly showing how useless he is with football matters. And I do think that it is sort of pulling the wool over our eyes a bit, like the news about Edwin van der Sar and the director of football role. I would not believe that for a month of Sundays. I really wouldn't. I can't see anything in it. I think it's United again trying to quell the storm, trying to calm the storm down, because they know that United fans are baying for blood at the moment. They know they're after the owners, and another ex-United player going in and getting a job at Manchester United. And it's not a bad thing, I know. At least Van der Sar has got experience in this role. But Am I 100% thinking that this is actually going to happen? Am I more swaying towards the side of, I think this is just Ed Woodward making news just to try and take United fans' focus off the real issues? Yeah, I'm swaying more towards that side. I do not believe it one bit, not until it's actually there and Van der Sar is in United and actually signed, sealed, delivered, basically. Pretty much like we say with the transfers, we can never believe any speculation. Same goes with this. I just think it's a little storm that the Glazers and Ed Woodward are creating just for the United fans, just to keep everyone happy and talking about something else, or like it is actually like a proper setup in terms of what United need, because we all know we need a director of football. And the Glazers and Ed Woodward know this is what United fans want, and they're just going to put that out there until the next game, because there's nothing else to talk about this weekend. They need something to actually put in there for everyone to talk about, away from the actual issue at United, which is the owners, as we know. And this is what the Glazers and Ed Woodward do. They're masters at it. They just drop these little bits of news when there's no football, because we all know we're going to talk about Ollie and the team and who deserves to be playing when the games are on. We're going to be analysing games. The games come quick, thick and fast now, so there's nothing else to talk about but football. But when the international break's on, half our team are pulled out injured, which they have done, I think, who's played, that I've seen: Matic, Lindelof, Maguire, Rashford. I can't think of anyone else. I think McTominay came off for Scotland as well the other day. But again, it's not great, is it? I mean, just making up news just to actually appease United fans. I do think it could be a bit of fake news in there as well on that, to be honest. Right, let's get back to some more. Let's see. Phil Burtonwood, how are you doing, Phil? Is Sanchez worth 500 a week? I'll laugh. Going to have to offer massive money the way we are at the minute. Sanchez, to get rid of him, which needs to happen, which is going to cost us a fortune. Are we actually saving money because Ed Woodward and the Glazers are listening to Ollie? They're listening to the players he doesn't want at the club. Are we actually saving money because we're having to fork out to actually get rid of players now? It's a disgrace how we turned down 5 million for Darmian last season and sold him for 1.5 million. It'll be a disgrace, the fact that we didn't get any money for Herrera or David De Gea. Having to pay Alexis Sanchez 250 grand a week for him not even being at the club. Allowing Jesse Lingard to do what he did in the summer without getting any reprimand and a constant place in the United team, in the matchday squads, even though he's been playing crap. Just rolls on and rolls on and rolls on and rolls on. And yet, bring on the comments, it's all negative, you're talking negative, but it's not, is it really? What is there to be positive about? I tell you what there is to be positive about, if Ole does start playing the players that deserve to be played, the ones that have been busting a gut in the under-23s, week in, week out, dropping the players that don't deserve to be in the team, the ones that have been underperforming for months, not weeks, months, constantly getting a place in the team. So, yeah, that is a positive if he does it. Our positives are all built on ifs and buts right now. There's nothing set in stone right now, apart from what Daniel James and the new signings that Ollie's made, because they have been our best players. I posted that out as well the other day, that the fact that Daniel James, 21-year-old from Swansea, from the Championship, has come in and is our best player. He's got Player of the Month. Tells us exactly where United are at the moment and the state of our squad. If a player like that can come straight in with nothing, no knowledge, well, knowledge of United from watching TV and everything like that, but knew nothing about United, the way it was run or anything like that, come in and just blown it, took his chance and blew it out of the park, which is superb. But again, that was a Championship player who's now our best player at the club at the moment, so yeah, we can go with that one. Adam, there are only negatives and hopes, Paul. Yeah, hopes, that's what we're clinging on to, hope at the moment, that Ollie can turn this around, because that's what we want to happen. That is a definite thing that every United fan wants, even the ones that are Ollie out right now. If he turned it around, I'm sure they would all hold their hands up and say, I got it wrong. But he needs to turn it around. He needs to turn it around quickly, because A lot are just losing faith completely, and that is the problem. Thanks to everyone saying great show and good work, Adam, and everything, and all the positive comments. I can't go through them all because there's so many, which is a good thing, I suppose. But yeah, thank you very much. Christina, Freddie's still on a honeymoon. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Where the hell is Fred? If Paul was here, he'd be doing his nut. There are people who are asking about Paul, by the way. His missus, his wife, is due to have a third child, so he is right in the last few weeks of that now. So I'm not going to cling on to Paul actually turning in pretty much every week. I just want him to be at home. Obviously, family comes first before any football, and hopefully everything goes well in that department for Paul. So that's probably why, if anyone's asking why Paul's not been on for a couple of weeks, because it's getting down to D-Day now for them and his wife. So fingers crossed everything goes well for that. We're all wishing them very well. Let's see, who else have we got now? Let's try and get through a few of these before we finish the show. Let's see, Richard Keane come back with another one. Let's see what you got, Richard. United's midfielders been shit even during Fergie's last few years. Gibson, Cleverley and Anderson were playing a lot of games. United struggle with midfielders like Arsenal do with defenders. It's a very, very good point, and a factual one at that. Because, yeah, when was the last decent central midfielder we bought? Yeah, Paul, you could say Pogba is a central midfielder, although he was pulling up trees for France and Juventus, playing on the left-hand side of a three, which we just seem to be reluctant to play him in. I mean, go where the proof is, man. Proof is in the pudding. Pogba next to someone else who is creative, i.e. a Fernandes, i.e. same type of player in Pirlo. Again, going over to his France team, who has he got next to him in midfield again? An abundance of quality centre midfielders, and this is where Pogba shines. If you're going to say you're going to build a team around Pogba, then start building. Don't start taking away, because he's going to want out. The foundations are there's cracks in the foundations now because we're that weak in terms of numbers in squad depth. So we should have got these players in the summer. Paul Pogba performs in a 4-3-3 on the left-hand side. It's a fact. He's got his titles at Juve there. He's got his World Cup for France there. You know what I mean? It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Mike Lilly says Fred, Pogba, Maddison midfield would be amazing. I would love to see that. I would love to see that, Mike, mate. I really would. It is a case of Ole, again, like we said before, come on, grow a pair, Ole, and actually tell Woodward this needs to happen in January. Otherwise, any plans that I have got for the summer, if I'm still going to be here, if you're going to keep me here, then they're going to be out the window. Ole can't attract world-class players. He hasn't got the managerial pedigree. As much as a legend he is at United, it's the opposite supporters that follow me on YouTube and social media who come in and tell me, and that's where I do a lot of my judging from people from the outside, and these would be the likes of the players as well. It's not just the fans. Players looking in at United right now, they're looking at Ole as like, well, what has he done? What are his credentials? Yeah, he was a great player for Manchester United, but I'm looking to go and play for a club and under a manager who's going to progress me. Everything that's happened to the current squad this season under Ole, in terms of last season's players, have all declined. No one's got any better from last season. Our best players are the ones that Ole's brought in, which is a good sign in a way, because he's made a good managerial decision in terms of what we need in the team. Yeah, that's all good, but in terms of a coach and coaching, if he's happy with this squad, why all of a sudden did Sanchez have to go? Why all of a sudden is Chris Smalling gone? Rojo not gone. Smalling gone before Rojo is just criminal in my opinion. And as good to work as Ole has done, it keeps on coming back to the same old thing again. The bad outweighs the good, and that is the problem with United at the moment. That is the problem with a lot of the fans and how they're looking at it, because we're just watching what's on the pitch. All we can do is do our shows, talk like we are, and get behind the team on a match day, which we all do. And then what happens off the pitch, outside, is obviously where there's all difference in opinions. Everyone has their say what we need to do, which is why we do these shows, and we can communicate and talk with each other. But it all comes down to the same thing again. Ole is the only one that can change this. It's all on him. Whether or not he wanted it that way, and he is getting his way in certain aspects with the players that are going out, but obviously we all knew he needed more, and we thought that, well, we were hoping that he was going to put his foot down in the summer and actually get what he actually needed. He hasn't. So for me now, Ole, he's got one chance, and that's January, because it's quite clear now that he cannot make these players any better in terms of coaching, progressing these players. The ones that are in there now, they've got too many bad habits. They're not changing at all. The bad habits, by that I mean Lingard. Rashford isn't gone yet. He isn't. As poor as he has been, he's not completely gone yet. There is still a player in there. We know there is. But who else is there? Who is going to get any better? Scott McTominay looks like he's got worse from last season. I don't know what's happened to Scott. I was really hoping he could come on and actually progress and get better and better. But for me, and people disagree, I know, but for me, in my opinion, I don't think McTominay has done anything this season so far. He hasn't. Whether or not that's just through everyone around him, I don't know. But I'm looking at Ole as the manager again. I can't keep blaming Scott, because Ole keeps playing him. If he's not playing well or doing anything, that's down on the manager, because for me, he would have just brought him out for a game and tried something different. Try something different. Maybe players who are going to look up to Ole. Who is going to look up to Ole? I can't see Pogba looking up to Ole. De Gea's not going to look up to Ole. There's a lot of players in that team who would not look up to Ole and go, wow, yeah, I can respect Ole Solskjaer. The players who will look up to Ole and listen to every word that he says and take everything on board are them kids in the under-23s. That is the sort of player we're going. It's no wonder, and it's clear and obvious why Ole is going for the younger players, because I think he's smart enough to know that he isn't a manager that's going to attract world-class players. Like I said before, what would attract a world-class player to Manchester United? It's not Ole Solskjaer. It's not. Sorry, but it's not. What is going to attract a player to Manchester United? A style of play, an obvious progression, maybe a plan that's obvious to everyone that we're actually progressing and there's a new way forward, a new regime going forward at United. But all I'm seeing is people and other fans, pundits, clearly stating the obvious, which is a decline in United. But we are United fans, and we're seeing it from tinted red glasses. I know we are. A lot of people are, and we're hoping. Like I said, the word hope keeps on popping up. But change is coming one way or the other. And I think this next run of games is going to be a massive indication of which way that change is going to be. Whether it be Ole still being out at the end of the season, whether it be talks and the fact that there were a lot of United players who have been left behind, and obviously a lot of communication would have been had with Ole and the players over training sessions. This just needs to happen now. This conversation needs to happen between Ole. I think it needs to be D-Day talks in a way. I think United need to have a sit-down. The squad needs one of these emergency meetings just to get everything out in the open, because there's too much going on, and it's showing on the pitch now. It's showing clearer than ever that there's a lot of players here who are not listening to Ole Solskjaer, and talks need to be had. Simple as. Confidence is a massive problem at United. No one willing to take the bull by the horns. It's always sideways, backwards. Rick Harrison, exactly right, mate. Exactly right. There is one player at United who does take the bull by the horns and gets absolute dog's abuse for trying to play his game, and that's Pogba. He gives the ball away a lot because he plays his game and he takes chances. Fred takes chances, gives the ball away an awful lot. Right now, the patience with the fans is at an all-time low, that they can't see past that, in my opinion. They cannot see United looking like they're trying to take a chance. They're just seeing it as United giving the ball away. Another mistake. And it's Pogba again. Yeah, if you're one of these midfielders that's just going to pass sideways and do a nice steady little job, then you're not going to get much criticism, because you're not making any mistakes, but you're not taking a chance. You like Vic says there, you're not taking the bull by the horns and actually trying something different. You're not trying a 40-yard pass. The line that Robin Van Persie said that time at half-time, it sticks in my mind a lot with Ferguson. And that was, they came in at half-time down and beaten. And Ferguson came in, Van Persie was expecting a rollicking, he just said, go out there and do something different. Take on a player, play a 50-yard pass. Just have the balls and the guts to wear that Manchester United shirt and play like a Manchester United player. Do something different. Take a chance. Take a chance. Where has that been at United? That is exactly what Ricky's getting at, and I understand that completely. That is bang on the money, because no one takes chances anymore. No one. They're all too scared. They are literally scared. Pogba isn't scared. I can tell you that for nothing now. He had a shocking first half against Southampton. Didn't change. Didn't change the way he played. Didn't change his attitude. Didn't change the way he played and why United bought him in. And seeing people criticising Pogba all the time for what he isn't that type of player that's going to tackle back. We bought him in to be creative. We had a team in place when Pogba came in, and everyone's left around him. So now people are expecting Pogba to do the tackling. They're running up and down the field. The best of Paul Pogba is at France and was at Juventus. We haven't seen the best of Paul Pogba at United yet, because United is a mess. United is just nowhere. It's not just Paul Pogba, it's everything around Pogba as well. I'm not saying Paul Pogba is great. I'm not saying he isn't to blame, because he is to blame for a lot of this. It still riles me a little bit that he said what he said in the summer. But if United, I had no idea what United were going to do in the summer at that stage though. I thought United were in a rebuild and we was actually going to get other players in. We didn't buy one midfielder. And we got rid of Fellaini and Herrera. So I was thinking then, Pogba's out now, we're going to bring in 2 or 3 new midfielders. We're not that stupid. Well, we are. Well, we've been taken for a ride this transfer window. It's simple as. Right, any more. Steven Shorak. I think the Glazers are getting ready to sell. That's why they're not going all out in the window. Yeah, mate, in a perfect world, that would have been... I said this before, as a business owner myself, that everything that they're doing now, the nitpick, the penny pinching, the saving on the outlays monthly, it all boils down to a takeover or sale. And in the ideal world, that would have been perfect. But United are far from perfect at the moment. But again, hope springs eternal. That could be the word. That could be what's happening. We never know. It's positive. Jeez, Pogba on the mind. Positive. Okay, Lil United, how you doing, mate? I know you've been saying a few things in the comments. I've seen you popping up. Let's just bring up, I think Pogba, or Poggy as you said, with your spelling mistake. I think Pogba never will be good for United. With this team, no, he won't, mate. That's the simple answer. He is going to try his game, but you have to be a certain calibre of player to play alongside Pogba, I think. Pogba needs to be in a team which is high, flying, basically. Look at France, best team in the world, World Cup winners. Juve, best team in Italy. The quality that they had in that team. And when you've got a player next to Pirlo taking the pressure off you, then you can pull out all the tricks in the book, do whatever haircut you want to do, flick whatever you want to flick round the corner, any bit of skill you want to do, because players like that around you, then it's just going to be a different ball game altogether. Let's see, if you had a Scholes next to Pogba, then it'd be a different ball game. It takes the pressure off instantly. But he's having to do everything at the moment creative-wise for United. No one is contributing to it at all. MT, Pogba goes to right wing, right mid. That will be a positive. I've made a new word, #Pogative. So yeah, so you put positive and Pogba together, people, and that's what you get. It's a Pogative, new word, and it was made on Mad Red United by me and you crazy lot in the subscribers in the comment section. But yeah, we always finish by laughing about something stupid, don't we? But yeah, anyone else got any Pogatives to bring up? Drop them in the comments before we finish. Let's see. I would even play Matic if it means Pogba. Yeah. I totally, Jordan Finlay, that was brought up outside. I could see why Ali brought Matic on in a way, because we were getting bullied in the midfield, and he is a unit, I know that, and as limited as he is, passing skillful wise, he does add a little bit of strength to the actual midfield. And if Matic was brought in to release Pogba, and that is clutching at straws because I don't want Matic in the team, but this is where we're going to have to think now. It's a case. I'm seeing some comments come up. Sorry, I shouldn't look at him like that. Mike, thanks, mate. You just put me off what I was saying there, pal. Positive attitude. Yeah, Matic in the team to literally release Pogba up the pitch would be a way forward, you could say. Would Fred coming into the team, then playing in that position, taking it off the back line, release Pogba also? Someone who's got a bit more energy. And yeah, I would prefer someone like that. But we're clutching at straws in terms of strength of depth, in terms of squad at the moment. And that's where the issue is going to come up and kick us in the arse, I think, because we're trying everything that we've got. We just haven't got a lot to try. We're pretty much at everything we are now already. So in terms of who comes in, I don't think it's going to be a case of having to play a certain player just to release Pogba. We need to find a player who can play with Pogba. That's what it is. True Salfordinian. I love that name. Nice one. Glazers won't sell. They need revenue to prop up their debt. They would have to pay all loans back from the sale. I mean, to be honest, they're looking at selling that around about $3.5 billion. That's the going rate, considering what they paid for the club. Drop in the ocean. I think that would be more than covered by what the sale of United bring. The fact that they've not paid off any of the debt for so long it's literally, I can see where you're coming from, I really can. I don't think they're going to sell. We are hopeful that that was the case, but I think until the money starts drying up and the good offer does come in from some rich playboy Arab, whoever it is, the only people who can afford United, then we're going to be stuck with him and we're going to be languishing where we are now. It's not going to change much because it doesn't look like they're looking to change it. That's the problem we've got. Pogativity, Pogadler, they're all coming out now. Martial up front is a positive. He looks a different player. Yeah, I can't wait for him to be fit. I hope he's fit. Richard Keane milking the Pogadler comments now, big time, people. Yeah, I do like Martial as a number 9. Don't want Rashford there at all. Don't think he's clinical enough. Proved it when Pogba put him through 3 times against Southampton. Let's see what else have we got before we finish up here. Jordan Finley, Adam, do you like the pet names Ollie has for the players such as Rashford? Mate, it does my head in. It just shouts out that he is too friendly and he isn't assertive enough. Simple as. It's not good for me. The fact that he calls him Rasher goes through me. That is Chonga, Rasher. No, piss off with that shit. It doesn't go down. You're the manager. You're not there to make friends. You're there to win fucking games. Anyway, nearly there. Andy Hamilton. How does Ollie still let Rashford take the set pieces? Another good point. Stupid. It's a stupid mistake. I mean, when's the last time he hit the target with a free kick? Was it the Newcastle game which rebounded to Lukaku and we scored? He scored against Cardiff as well in that good spell. But he's trying to be too clever with it. Just hit it at the goalkeeper, at least get it on target and just pick up some pieces. He did it against Newcastle and it worked. You know what I mean? You hit the ball, hit the target, just hit the target. That's all you have to do. Anything can happen from there. And last time he did hit the target, then I think we did actually get goals from it. But yeah, shouldn't be on him. Simple. Okay, right. Somehow we've gone over to well over an hour again. I don't know how I keep doing this. Thank you everyone for coming on the show and putting your comments and questions to me. This has been my first Q&A. There's been a lot of questions which needed talking about in depth, so I've not managed to get through as many as I wanted to. I think I have nailed quite a few in there. Apologies to anyone who has been commenting and I've not replied to yet in the comments for the actual videos that are already up on the channel. You know I do like to get involved and speak to everyone that is actually posting comments on them and getting or interacting with me, which is what I want. I've just been very busy recently and I've just not had a chance to get through all of them yet. I'm sure there'll be a load more which I will start plugging through and I will get back to everyone. If not, just send me a quick emoji message or something like a slap. I will get back to you, I promise you. Where do you think United will finish in the league? That's a long way to finish, K-Dog. Right now, oh God, that is a question. That right now we have to start crossing the ball. Yeah, Sam Everell as well. We have to start crossing the ball and trying different methods going forward. Totally with that as well, mate. Completely good points. But going back there to K-Dog, where do you think people we're going to finish? We'll finish on this one. What league position are we going to finish in? Going off the start of this season, bearing in mind I said United will finish third before the transfer window finished. That's when I thought we were getting Dybala. That's when I thought we were getting Fernandes, and I thought we actually had a plan. Now I see United finishing in 8th. There you go. That's my prediction at the moment. Where we are now is where we belong. Where we are. That's exactly where we deserve to be. As simple as that. As 10th, 11th. I think I'm looking positive there with my 8th. I'm better. Stephen Shorrock. 3rd. Yes, 3rd. Wow. Yeah, you never know. If we have the transfer window in January that we need, and we all know we need, then you never know. Things could change quickly. But I've got to finish it there, people. I'm just nattering on with myself, and I need to get you all go and get ready for work tomorrow, because this time next week we will be talking about Leicester, and hopefully not negatively. I don't want to be, but it's going to be a massive game. Like I said, we have to win. It's a do or die game for me. I think we're going to struggle past that if we get beat against Leicester. Thanks a lot for tuning in, people. Thanks for watching the show. You know what to do. Catch me on my socials. They're there on the screen. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're watching for the first time. You know I'm all over YouTube, Instagram and Twitter. Get me on there. Talk to me on there as well. My DMs are always open on both of them social media platforms as well. Share the video. Give it a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Thank you for the super chats and everyone who commented. I appreciate you all, and we're growing and growing and growing. Hopefully we can be more positive this time next week. There will be a video in between as well this week, or when something actually happens, which I'm sure it will. I'm going to probably do an international roundup as well. Catch you guys in the week. Have a good start to the week. Hopefully work goes well. You've nothing to stress about in terms of football this weekend because we haven't played. So enjoy, and I will catch you through the week and into next weekend. See you later, people. Bye-bye.